If you have been paying attention to the market somewhat regularly, you are able to observe falling prices for liquid items left and right, especially in the last few days. Checking out Esports Fire's graph, we can see that their index is almost back at January levels and nowhere near CS2's announcement levels that were reached in April. Except for the small rebound in August, we've been on a steady downtrend in the last few months, which actually wasn't widely expected during summer. I'm honestly not sure why so many people were absolutely certain CS2 would deliver an amazing game with tons of new content attracting players, when the game at its core is not really about flashy new content that could bring in new masses of players. I'm gonna be honest, I myself did believe we would see increasing player numbers for CS2 at least for 2023 until maybe early 2024. But a lackluster release with removed content and many problems with their main game mode premiere, Valve clearly wasn't able to deliver on their tight schedule. It's no secret player numbers and market developments of CS items are closely correlated, which I believe to be a major contributing factor for the market developments we've seen in the past few days, with the overall market holding up more or less just fine actually. So let's try to understand why we see very liquid and more expensive items dropping, while the general market seems to be holding up relatively well. We will also try to link those findings to sticker prices and answer the question how much lower prices can or will go, and why we might have a good buying opportunity on our hands right here and now. Before we continue, I just quickly want to say thank you to all of you watching, and especially to those commenting and bringing up interesting points. I do read every comment, and it's been very fun, so yeah, thank you guys. We're also close to hitting the giveaway, so yeah, make sure to enter by subscribing, liking, and commenting, you know what it is. Let's first find out where the large disconnect between the general market and the more liquid, trader, and investor-oriented market comes from. The Esports Fire Index is being thrown around very inflationary, with seemingly few actually understanding what exactly it shows. This graph basically represents 300 handpicked CS2 items and tries to represent the performance of these items price-wise. Now, don't get me wrong, it's absolutely valid to use it as an indicator of how well the CS market is actually doing, but you need to be aware that these handpicked items do not necessarily represent all of the current market perfectly, especially when you talk about certain item categories. To exemplify, let's just have a closer look at what items are being referenced in this index here. While I'll be talking about a few issues here, I'll let the list scroll past so you can have a look for yourself. As you will be able to see, there are a lot of items missing that I do consider valuable and important for a better representation of the market situation as a whole. For example, we don't have most newer knife finishes that are considered very liquid, for example, Gamma Doppler or normal Doppler knives or Tiger Tooth. We're also missing skins with high trading volumes like the Info Blue Phosphor, for example. But that's just nitpicking at this point, but I just wanted to point it out. In general, I'm of course happy to have some kind of an overview for mid to high tier items. What I'm not happy about though is that this graph is being used to showcase developments for all cases or even newer stickers, as there's only very few cases and none of the stickers since 2019 included here, which actually have their own graph further down this website that represent their situation much better. Now, this is not to be understood negatively, but I honestly felt the need to clarify, as I've seen this graph used to explain certain niches of the market, which really just isn't correct. I do understand that a true representation of the market as a whole is very difficult and probably lies somewhere in between those graphs, but referencing the Esports Fire 300 index to explain the market crash is only part of the truth. With that out of the way, let's figure out why we've seen stickers, high tier skins, and most liquids actually dropping. I do believe we've seen an influx of crypto bros into the CS scene, especially after the sharp price increase for basically everything earlier this year, which in and of itself is not a bad thing, and it's actually good if we are in a bull market to drive prices even higher. But as soon as we see falling player numbers, I'm inclined to think that the same people will rapidly sell off their quote-unquote investments, especially if we see crypto pumping and the general stock market recovering as we've seen in the last couple of weeks. Sell-offs of high-tier liquids have shown to create somewhat of a trickle-down effect, where cheaper items will also be sold off. The big ballers, not only from China but also from other parts of the world, have the ability to really dictate where the market is flowing. Additionally, all the changes to stickers and skins since the release of CS2 only adds uncertainty, which of course can hurt expensive items and investor, trader, and player confidence. Lower tier liquids and sticker prices decreasing furthermore show a lacking confidence from the general player base in Valve's ability to bring new content in forms of an operation or at least a new case for entertainment. Having no new demand come in because of no new players or skins to craft with, and existing players getting impatient proves to hurt sticker prices specifically. Taking a quick peek at their prices, we're seeing Paris near all-time lows after bouncing a little bit, likely going a bit lower even, with nothing but risk on the horizon as of today for the short term. I do think right now is a good decision point where you have to consider how much risk you are willing to take with your Paris investments. Depending on if you are believing Paris stickers will rise or fall with Copenhagen, now would be a good time to reevaluate and either stay away or keep holding your investments if you're still confident in the long-term growth of these stickers. Maybe even average down if you're really bullish, or maybe sell if you have invested without much preparation, thought, or if your investing thesis has changed significantly. The overall item graph still looks relatively healthy, which I believe is because of the large amount of different items that aren't necessarily looked at by traders or investors and are really just being used or held by the general player base that's not looking for profits or market doings in general. The CS market cycles so fast, from easy money to everything is doomed in some people's eyes, which I believe is largely because it's unregulated and not treated like any other capital market by most of its actors. We really were due for a decent correction, and I do believe here to be opportunity to finally get better prices on stickers, knives or play skins. Cases are still somewhat expensive in my personal opinion. While I think there's a bit more pain to come, a decent amount of players will likely be returning with an operation release. I can see the general demand rising again a few days into an operation after a slight initial drop, depending on how much prices are going down in the coming weeks. I kinda do believe it's healthy for the sticker market in general to have dropping prices, so they can actually be bought for cheaper and likely get applied more for people who are just now buying for crafts. It really isn't healthy for my inventory or my portfolio though, so yeah, there's that. Well, is it fun to look at your inventory basically losing value by the hour? I mean, of course it's not, but any dips have historically proven to be eaten up in a couple of months down the line. So for me, the name of the game is looking for some opportunities, averaging down a bit for items I really like and already own, and most importantly, just relax. In these volatile times, it's especially important to me to remind you guys to not invest what you aren't prepared to lose. For everyone who has watched this far into the video, I want to give away a Fnatic Paris Hollow, so just comment which sticker collection you like best, looks wise, and I'll randomly choose a winner among those comments. And also, don't forget to put your trade link in your YouTube bio, please. Yeah, subscribe if you want to stay up to date with everything CS2 investing. Remember to enter the giveaway or the giveaways. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.